early in the morning, early August. Just scouting around for the Kenora Walleye Open. This is usually the weekend reserved for the Kenora Bass International, and it was canceled this year because of everything. So there's the big walleye tournament. Kenora has moved into this weekend instead, so we're changing gears and hunting down walleye. I forgot all the bait today. Dumb move, but I'm going to use all artificial, and that'll probably be for the best. Just cruising around, side imaging, looking for little isolated patches like that and just clumps of fish. I'm not really into the big, huge 10 million boulder style humps right now. I just want these little hard spots on the sand. There's some fish there. Couple. I am idling fast, so usually if you see a couple doing that, you turn around and there's a lot more than you think. So found a little pack on the side imaging. Just gonna bomb this little Z-Man Hula stick. Got it on a 1/4 ounce homemade football jig. I'll show you just how good this thing catches these things. One thing I like to do is always stay a little bit off them if you can. I mean, we're only in 17 feet, so that's not a lot of distance between the boat and the fish. Oh, there he is already. You'll find that you can just catch a lot more if you stay off the school and just fleece in. I'm about to show you. This is a decent one. Eater Avenue. So if I was using live bait, I'd be changing my minnow right now, or my leech or whatever, but I'm not, so I can just fire right back out and just keep pounding on them. There's a lot of them there, so I don't want to be messing around with live bait. Like if this were a tournament, I'd be using this plastic for sure. I just missed one. You do have to keep it hopping a little bit more than live bait, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of adjustment you have to make. See how many we can fleece out of here. Let her fall down. Just because of how many fish there are, I probably could be using a little bit of a heavier head just to get it down there quick. I missed him. Come on. There we go. And I mean, these are just eaters. I probably should be moving on just because I'm looking for tournament fish, but there might be a couple good unders in here or something, or you never know when a 10 pounder is going to show up either. That's all the biggest walleyes I've seen in this lake have been on their own and in weight class, just hanging out with these little weasels. So it's hard to depend on that in a tournament situation, but it can happen. Not that I want to catch a 10 pounder today anyway. There's another one. This is actually a pretty crazy little spot. If I don't come back here in the tournament, I will certainly come back here to get some meat. This might be a decent under. Yeah. Oh, no way. So I don't know if that's 4 or 5. I have hardly gotten a pop in. I haven't had to mess with my bait. Just keep firing it back out there is all you got to do. This is lots of fun. There we go. This one's small. They're all eaters though. Shoreline should be hopping for sure. Found him. Oh look, another eater. Oh, line's wrapped up, didn't even make it to the bottom. That was not pretty on my part. That's a nice under. It's probably like a 17 incher. He's a little bit skinny. That's not really what I'm after. It's not unders that are going to win this tournament either. It's going to be a 30-inch fish or a pair of 28-inch fish. Unders, I mean, the difference between a really good bag of unders and a really bad bag of unders is 1 pound. So I don't need to tell you the difference between a 25-inch walleye and a 30-inch walleye. It's a lot more than a pound. Another good under. Kind of weeded through all the super rats, and these things are a little bit nicer. That one choked it. Oh, it's not in the throat. Good to go. Z-Man's still hanging on. Can you imagine how many leeches and minnows and worms you would have gone through on this spot by now? I'm still on my original bait that I started the day with. I've already, I've lost count of fish. Not that that's hard to do because I never remember anyway. They're not on to me yet. Shore luncher's dream. Wait. Crazy. It's not even like they're starting to peck at it now. They're eating it more. It's absolutely crazy. Look at that thing. It's barely hanging on. It's been a combination of the weather and the lack of pressure and lack of shore lunches this year. I think why the walleye fishing's so good. This is a nice under. Maybe just over. Tough to say. Not gonna measure them. Skinny, not what I'm after. But still good. If I got bait for free and had it with me, I still wouldn't use it. There's like it just can't. It can't possibly work any better than this thing's working. Like if you put it in front of one with this, they eat it. So why even mess with bait? This is literally one of those scenarios where artificials outfish live bait just because of like an efficiency standpoint. It does happen. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to have a bunch of juicy live bait for the tournament. I'm probably not going to use it on this spot. Mostly because I'm probably not going to come back to this spot. That's why I'm leaning on it so hard. One thing that's really happened on Lake of the Woods in the last few years is the rusty crayfish explosion. These fish are kind of going from eating shiners and smelt and perch to being hard on the rusties, so that's why these bass style like craw imitating baits are so lethal. I gotta go find some more fish. This is stupid. This lake is so good. After about fish 20, my Hula stick got yanked down. But I'm just gonna give it a little dab of glue instead of putting a new one on there. It's usually all it takes. The school hardly looks like it's broken up at all. They're just ganging right back up. Usually when you catch fish, put it back, they start to disperse and it takes the school a while to rebuild and you let it rest and come back and catch them again. But these ones are getting caught and just going right back into the mix. So that's what's keeping the rest of them biting, I think. Which is really weird. You hear people say that they come to Lake of the Woods and catch 100 walleye in a day. Well, that's a reality. You catch more than that. If I did this with this bait and fish for these little ones all day, I mean, not a big fish clicker guy, but you could probably be turning the dial on 200. Okay, last fish here. Biggest one I've seen here is a 19-incher, so I'm really just wasting time. Second last one, I'll catch one. I'm going back to the idol for probably not that long until I find more, but last one. I'm still on that same worm.
Like I said, there's no rocks down here, it's just mud, so I'm not going to lose my bait unless old Mr. Pike comes chewing through. That one's a little one. That's a perch. First perch. Cool, this thing is getting beat up. They start to get real soft from fish pulling on them, and that just makes them even tastier. They just get better. Oh God, these fish are dumb. I'm also dumb for sitting here camping on them. There's a decent one. No, little one. Okay, I gotta go. I don't know how long they're gonna stay biting for, but that's crazy. Ah, one more. One more. I can't just leave them there. They're on the grass. Oh, I made it to bottom. If you keep it above them and bounce it, they hate that. You put it down there and they eat it. Like I said, those crayfish, they eat them by mashing them into the rocks and mashing them into the mud, I think. Well, I need to re-glue anyway. Perfect time to leave. If I don't lift this troller, I'll just never leave. No matter how many fish I catch, I just still love catching fish. So that's how you Ned rig 10 million walleye. Give it a shot, it works deadly. I don't know if it's my best chance at finding giant ones right now, so I'm gonna do a little crankbait trolling, and yeah, but if I need a fish, I'm definitely gonna pick the Ned rig back up. Try it out.